NXT Stand Deliver Night 1 took place, and what was an amazing card with some amazing wrestlers didn't stand up to the hype that it was getting. Pete Dunne versus Kushida. In what was a technical masterclass, both guys off the bat immediately went for the submission. This what is the feud has been based on, is energetic, fast-paced submission kind of wrestling. It's something we saw a lot of Kushida in New Japan, and I like that you saw brought over here, and Pete Dunne is his perfect opponent. The finish came where Pete Dunne just immediately tagged he loves the finger manipulation, immediately tagged Kushida's fingers, stomps on him. Kushida gets sort of the fire back punches. Dunne hurts his hand during it. Dunne then sets up, hits the bitter end, wins the match. And I think what was a shock on that NXT episode on Wednesday when both of these guys did get eliminated, I think people was always very sort of questioning, well, what's going to happen with these two? They put on a masterclass to open up the show, good energetic start, and I think Pete Dunne is going to have a close eye on that night 2, Karrion Kross versus Finn Balor. The Gauntlet Match between Dexter Lumis, Bronson Reed, LA Knight, Leon Ruff, Cameron Grimes, and Isaiah Swerve Scott. The Gauntlet and Eliminate match, I think it was one of the matches where people are always excited. There's a lot of wrestlers involved, and the start didn't disappoint. You had Leon Ruff immediately being attacked by Swerve Scott, who had an amazing performance. Probably was the best, I think, standout wrestler in this match. Yeah, probably. Not even including the winner. I think Scott proved to everyone that even what he's been doing, his heel character is very similar to a generic heel we see a lot. But because he's picking up wins and pinfalls in this match, really worked well. But then you have Bronson Reed coming clear house. And then you had one thing they did, which I was very surprised with. All the men actually was in the match before we had a first elimination, which was Leon Ruff due to a distraction from Dexter Lumis, and Swerve Scott got the pin victory over there. We had LA Knight, the winner of the Battle Royale. He eliminated Dexter Lumis with a really innovative roll up, and I think he had Lumis had Grimes in the silencer, and then LA Knight, lovely little roll up, eliminates Lumis, then gets ganged upon by Grimes and Scott, and then it was sort of Bronson Reed fighting off against these two heels of Scott and Grimes. Comes down to, I think it was Reed and Swerve Scott, Bronson Reed. After, I think, Swerve Scott, he pushes Swerve Scott off the top rope, and then a lovely tsunami for the victory. I think it's a shame because I don't think he'll win against Gargano, but again, he's very similar to Swerve Scott as how he's not done much, same with Kushida as well. It's a good opportunity for now, get him a title match, have him a great performance against Gargano. Gargano wins, but Reed really sort of cements himself as a wrestler who shouldn't be messed with. NXT UK champion Volta versus Tommaso Ciampa for the NXT UK Championship. What a battle this was. Volta, the NXT UK champion, 770 plus days, versus Tommaso Ciampa, the stalwart of NXT, a man who has main evented takeovers, has never, not even been on the shows at points due to injury and just not there. And this was Ciampa's not crowning moment, but really cementing his character. He was gritty. He gave the fight to Volta, which not many people do. And there was moments, trust me, there were moments when I was sat there watching it just going, Ciampa's winning. I think it was when he hit the Willow's Bell, Volta kicks out and then he goes up on the top rope, hits a lovely, I think it was a suplex off the top rope, and Volta, fair play to me, kicks out so late, sold me an absolute dream. Volta gets up the win, but also Volta, he looks strong. The chop that he did onto the announce table that broke the announce table, obviously we all know, but just the selling of that and sort of the way they presented him is just this strong Austrian man who basically cannot be defeated. His reign's gone to nearly 700 plus days, and I know he's heading back to NXT UK, but I know Triple H and Shawn Michaels have both said we want him back in NXT if he's willing to travel every week to come wrestle for us. And I think if you really want to have your new big heel with supported by a great faction, don't forget that Fabian Eichner, Alexander Wolf and Martel Bartel are great faction members. They're all unique in their own kind of way and great sort of, I'm not going to say lackeys, but sidekicks to Volta. You could have, obviously with the loss of sort of the Undisputed Era, you could have this new big faction and a heel faction run through NXT if you can get Volta over to the NXT Full Fat brand. Triple threat tag team match for the vacant tag team championships, MSK versus Grizzled Young Veterans versus Legado del Fantasma. After the grueling, gritty match that we had previously, this triple threat was a lovely palate cleanser. MSK, the Dusty Cup winners, the most recently signed out of the trio, GYV, NXT UK zone, Liverpool zone, hated in the UK. No one likes Zach Gibson, even James Drake. And then you have Legado del Fantasma, my boys. And probably not the underdogs in this match, but no one gave them a shot. And they really cemented all three, I think. Legado used them heel tactics, but also they utilised their cruiserweights. Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza haven't done much under sort of the tutelage of Santos Escobar. But in this match, he really, I think, them both came alive. And they are stars. I think the NXT division, the men's tag team division, has been stale for a while. And even with Oney Locke and Danny Burch champs, after this match, your tag team division is thriving. GYV, love it. It's very similar to how Revival-esque in terms of you had these two cruiserweight teams in a way, and GYV stuck to what they know. It didn't work, but there were moments where you thought, okay, these guys, they're not trying to do this flashy offense, what MSK and Legado were doing, but it's paying off for them, and they are your heel tag team. I think Legado or your tweeners one, you can choose either way. GYV, you cement as your top heels, and then obviously your winners, MSK, the Rascals. We know how good they were in Impact, and also there's only two of them now. That doesn't matter, they are great. Wesley, just his energy to do it, and obviously Nash as well, you can't forget about them. Just both, when you put them two together, they are an incredible team. They know each other so well. I think when we win the belts, whoever won it, I wouldn't have been disappointed. I think MSK is the more reasonable choice, but this tag team division is really heating up right now. The main event of the evening for the Women's Championship, Raquel Gonzalez versus the champion, Io Shirai. In what was the third time that the women have main evented NXT TakeOver, again, it didn't disappoint. Io being the champ for nearly 200 plus days, and you know what fans will say, oh, it's going to be boring, I would like to, and I'm probably one of them. But what a champion she's been, I think, especially during this COVID time, she's really stepped up. You look back and she's had some incredible matches, but this match wasn't about her. She did the lovely crossbody on top of the skull, which looked amazing. The visual of that, really good, but this was Raquel's moment. Thing is, Dakota eliminated, thrown out immediately. Left Raquel all by herself. She's used Dakota as sort of a crutch at points, but not for this match. Raquel Gonzalez is a star. It's one thing that I think a lot of people hold with Rhea Ripley that they would have done. Instead, they've literally used that, they've took that base and just put it into Raquel. She is great. I think she's going to be a champion for a while. But the one thing is, there are so many unique matchups that I think we can see possible. I'd like to see Kacy Catanzaro versus Raquel. I know Catanzaro is sort of embroiled with Xia Li, but maybe a couple of months down the line, have a Catanzaro-Raquel feud. Candice LeRae, I think Indy Hartwell has got to have a shot recently, I think, all to do with obviously Night 2, which we'll talk about in a second, but Raquel Gonzalez is the new champion. She looked like a beast, and she is going to be one to be feared in that women's division. With Night 2 set to take place tonight, I mean, when I looked at the card before, I thought, Night 2 maybe, but now I want to put on a precedent. I mean, the ladder match has got to step up now after that triple threat tag team sort of in the cruiserweight styles. That Devlin Escobar match has got to be fast paced. I think it will. I think it might steal the show. But Pete Dunne will keep his eye on Karrion Kross and Finn Balor. I think the women's division is really stacked. It's mental to think that even though we've just in that main event of yesterday, we had Io Shirai, Raquel Gonzalez, and Dakota Kai, that we still got Ember Moon, Shotzi Blackheart, Candice LeRae, Indy Hartwell, all still to wrestle, and then in that main event match, that's Karrion Kross, Finn Balor, and my prediction for that is a tough one because Raquel wins, it's the heel winning. Finn is the obvious choice, but Karrion Kross is on a roll. Do we see a shock debut? Do we see a shock win, a shock return? Interest fan out. Don't forget to join me tomorrow when we'll have NXT Stand Leather Night 2 review. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. All the social medias are down in the description. And I'll see you tomorrow for NXT Stand Leather Night 2. Bye bye.